Let's get straight into this 10-minute static stretch routine for cyclists that you can do as a follow along with me to improve your cycling performance by increasing your mobility, allowing for a more aerodynamic cycling position, and also reducing any stiffness that could cause discomfort during your rides. First up, we're going to release the upper back and chest muscles by lying on your left side. We're going to do some page turners. Have your right hand on your temple like this. We're going to start off in a closed position and we're just going to open out. So turning over, relaxing that elbow down towards the floor and then coming back over. We want you to exhale as you're dropping the elbow towards the floor, keeping your knees together and bent at a 90-degree angle. Get ready for a quick transition between sides. Straight to the other side. Next, I want you to lie on your back. You're going to stretch out your piriformis and glutes, so hook your left leg over your right knee. And then you can either reach under the hamstring like this, or if you're more flexible, you could reach all the way to the shin. But we're looking to relax the head and shoulders back towards the mat. You might find it easier to hold the hamstring to do that. You should feel a stretch on your upper outer glute on your left side. I'm reaching through this gap I've created in my legs. If you're still struggling with this, an easier option would be just to gently pull that knee up and across with your hands, but pick whichever level is suitable for you. Your piriformis is a muscle that comes from your femur, that long bone in the upper part of your leg, and crosses through your hip into your lower back. So you can imagine if that's very tight, it could definitely cause discomfort during long rides, given the feeling of a tight lower back. So switching over, putting your right leg over your left knee. And then you could hold on to your shoelaces with your left hand, reaching through to the hamstring. Maybe if you're more flexible, reaching all the way onto your shin with that right hand, going through the gap in your legs. Or if you're less flexible, just placing both hands on the knee as you pull up and across. Just pick whichever suits you today. I'm going to go for the middle option. Try and slow your breathing down, relaxing your shoulders and your head down into the mat. Feeling that stretch on the upper outer glute area, that piriformis on the right hand side. We're holding the stretches for just over a minute for each. Okay, we're going to go into a half kneeling position. You can do this with your back foot elevated on a sofa or wall. I'm going to lean into this hip flexor stretch. So I'm on my left knee, my right leg's out front. I'm engaging the glute, doing a slight pelvic tilt as if I'm tucking my tailbone under. and then a subtle lean forwards. If you want to elevate that back foot up against a wall or on a bench or sofa, you can go for this slightly more advanced position. But if you're doing a good pelvic tilt, you don't even need to hold this back foot, and you should still feel it. This is also called the sofa stretch when the back foot's elevated, because it can be done quite well on the sofa. It's a good one for the quads and hip flexors, but try not to overarch your lower back. So I'm being conscious not to be protruding my abs in a stretch position. I'm trying to keep them drawn in and focusing on that pelvic tilt, squeezing the glute on the left-hand side. So switching sides, you either opt in for just the kneeling position, or if you want to elevate the back foot up on a bench, hold onto it with your hand, or put it against a wall. I'm going to go for holding onto it. Again, I'm focusing, rather than leaning really far like this, I'm actually going to not go as far, but focus on a much more thorough pelvic tilt. Trying to squeeze that right glute under, draw the ribs in, feeling a nice stretch up. I call it a hip flexor because one of your quads causes hip flexion, and that's the main one you'll feel during this. So it's going to feel like a quad stretch, but technically it's both. Okay, let's move into a kneeling hamstring stretch. I'm folding my mat up just to give you that nice knee cushion. So I'm going to go on my left knee, right leg's out front. Unlock that front leg at the knee just slightly and scoot your hips backwards, leaning your chest forwards over the quads, but whilst keeping some length to your spine. So we're not looking for it to look like this. You want to keep length to your spine, and then if you've got that length and you can lean forwards, hinging at the hip, great. I've unlocked the knee so that I can feel those hamstrings a little bit higher up here, rather than just feeling. If you lock the knee out, you'll only feel the hamstrings that cross the knee joint, but you've got plenty of hamstrings that cross the hip joint up higher. So by unlocking that knee, we can focus on those more. As you've got a slight bend in the leg when you're cycling, most of the time, actually focusing on these upper hamstrings will help you to get into a more aerodynamic position rather than always focusing on that hamstring that crosses the knee joint. So I do recommend that slight unlock at the knee for optimum results on this one. Okay, let's take it to the other side. So I'm going to kneel on my right knee, left one out front. I'm going to put that slight unlock to the knee. I'm going to scoot my hips back with my chest leaning forwards over the quad, but keeping length. You could hold some yoga blocks down by your side. I'm just going to place my hands on my upper thigh. One, to give me some balance, but it also does add a little bit of pressure into the stretch. We're in our final stretch now as well. So this is only a short routine. I find with flexibility, frequency is much more important than intensity. So don't push the stretches too hard. Just try and come back to this video regularly and you'll see improvements. I've got some other cycling related videos that you can check out after this. I've got a cycling strength video that'll be coming out. We've also got a 10-minute foam roll routine for cyclists. So if either of those take your fancy, you can check them out at the end of the video. And that's the routine complete. Let me know in the comments below, how did you find that and where in the world are you following along from? Don't go anywhere. Why not try this foam roll routine for cyclists, or if you fancy a workout, try this bodyweight workout here. See you soon.